Hi everybody, welcome back to the Quarter Acre Homestead. Today we're going to look at our fig tree. It's about 4 years old now, and show you how we're going to prune it for maximum breba crop production here in the Pacific Northwest. So again, welcome back. I'm Matthew, and the fig tree we're going to be working on is this one right here. I did a video about 1 year ago talking about how we were going to prune this, and we pruned it last year on that video. I'll put a link. Let's see, I think the link will be right up over here to that video. So this is the second year we're using that method to prune. Basically, we're trying to make a kind of a permanent structure up to about my head height, with about 6 or 8 branches up to that height. And then from that point, we're gonna leave 1 year's growth, probably 2 or 3 branches on each permanent branch. And then anything besides that, we're gonna prune. So every year, we're gonna leave 1 year's growth, which means the next year when we prune, that 1 year's growth will now be 2 years. And so we'll cut everything that's 2 years from that height, but we'll leave 2 or 3 that are 1 year growth. And the reason is the breba crop figs that form over the winter and then produce or are ready for harvest around June, those produce on that 1 year growth. So I went around with some masking tape and marked kind of my permanent end points. And so I'll bring you in close and show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll probably do a time lapse of the pruning and then maybe talk again at the end. Okay, so here's the fig tree, and you can see I have masking tape right up here, another one there, a couple over there, a couple over there, one here, one here. So those are my kind of my permanent end points. So you'll see I pruned this here last year, probably just that one. This was probably during the summer, so right there. And you'll see a 1 year growth coming off going this way. So that's one year growth that I will leave. And on this one, I might actually leave some of these other two that are kind of going overhead. The reason is this is a walkway to our front door right here, and so I do kind of want it to be up above the walkway, not in the walkway. So I'm going to be pruning off a lot of these little branches that are going over the walkway. Okay, but for example, this end point, this is another example. This one only has 2 that are 1 year, so I'll probably leave both of those. Let's see, where would be a better example of what I'm looking at? A lot of these only have 1 year growth. It's going to be a lot easier once the permanent structure is older. Right now it's kind of hard to see. So like this one doesn't have any 1 year growth, just a couple 2 year branches. That one right there, that one coming up this direction, that's 1 year. You can tell because it's just one branch going up. So that grew that is like 5 feet in 1 year. So we'll leave that. The one behind it right there, we'll leave that one. The one going off to the left, that you can see is 2 years. And it actually looks like I pruned it out here last year, so maybe I was going to let that be the permanent structure. So I'll have to think about that as I prune. Alright, so it looks a lot different. I pruned a ton off. You can see my wagon here full of prunings. So I don't think it might be done. I might come back and touch it up later. I did want to leave some small branches on the bottom because I may want to graft something on. Just in case you're wondering, I don't know what variety this is, but here in the Pacific Northwest Zone 9, we get breba crops around June, and then we get a second crop around like September, October. So if you're interested in getting a cutting, check out my Patreon link in the description. There's an option there and some instructions on how to get cuttings. Although you might have to wait till next year because I basically just pruned this and I'm probably going to be chipping up the cuttings. But you can sign up for next year. The interesting thing, like you saw some of those first year growth grows like 3 feet or more, which is crazy. I have another little fig tree over here right on the other side of that blue chair. That's been here 3 or 4 years and it's just barely over 3 feet tall. So I'm not impressed with that one. I'm thinking about grafting a twig off of that onto this and see if then it'll take off. That's a brown turkey fig, which is another one that's supposed to be good for this area. So I'll bring you in close one more time now that I've pruned this. So you can see I've pruned it a little bit here where the walkway is, but I left some sticking way up there so they can have fruit up there. I pruned a lot down low because I wanted to be able to get the lawnmower in here. So you can see there was a big branch coming off there, one over there, one way down under there. I pruned those completely off. A couple here that were low. And then up here I have kind of my structure I was talking about. So these two were 2-year-old. These two were 2-year-old stubs. And so pruning them off is going to force side shoots to come out of here this year and make 1-year-old growth for next year, which will have brebas, not this winter but next winter. So this winter, right now it's January, so this winter, like this right here is 1-year-old growth, and you can see, let's see, can we see, you can maybe see where the figs are going to be forming. There we go. So there's one there, there's another 1-year-old there, a couple 1-year-olds right back there. So here, and here, I'm kind of still trying to decide where my permanent structure is going to be. Maybe both of those spots, but if I back up a little bit, you can see all those 1-year-old shoots coming up. So this one right here is a 1-year-old shoot that goes way up, so that should have breba crop figs on it. And then there's another one going up right there, and then coming this direction, one here and one here. So those are all 1-year-old growth. So that one didn't have any 2-year-old that I had to cut off. I did cut off some of the smaller 1-year-olds, so like this little one. So the little ones that are weaker I cut off, and also the ones that are like going down, because I want to open it up to the sun so the sun can get in. So that's kind of my strategy. Once this grows for a couple more years, you'll be able to see the permanent structure better. You can kind of start to see it now, the big branches. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big branches coming up, and then I'm just going to keep pruning them back to about my head height. I did leave some going into the center because I'm kind of making this open center, but it's okay if there's some in the center. So I was thinking of maybe having a permanent structure here starting maybe next year. But also I want to leave some small stuff for grafting, because I think I might graft my brown turkey fig that I showed you earlier onto this one and see if it grows better on this rootstock. So let's see, you might be wondering why I have all these bungees over here. Last year, I guess this tree was so loaded, this branch, so this one right here, actually broke right down there. And so I propped it up with some boards and also some bungees to hold that together, and it looks like it's healing up nicely. So anyways, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed, hope that was helpful. Like I said, I'm going for like 6 or 8 main scaffold branches that then shoots come up off every year, and I leave some 1-year growth but prune all 2-year growth because the brebas come on the 1-year growth, and that way I keep it to a manageable size where I can reach to pick the figs. So thanks for watching, God bless, and we'll see you next time.